Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. Now for today's video, I wanted to talk about some news that recently came out about the original Jurassic Park. So the first film screenwriter, David Koepp, spoke on stage at a screening in London last Wednesday and revealed some interesting information during the event. It turns out that originally, the plan that Koepp had in mind for the movie would have been just a tiny bit more faithful to the Michael Crichton novel. Essentially, instead of the Raptor attack, where we see why Hammond's investors get so concerned, we would have seen the trip taken to the Costa Rican Hospital. In the book, this is where Ed Regis would lie to the mainland doctors and tell them that one of Nublar's workers was terribly injured in a, quote, construction accident, when in reality, it was from a deadly encounter with a velociraptor. During the screening last Wednesday, Koepp had this to say about Jurassic Park. The problem I encountered, and that I still encounter today when I work with Steven, is his movies are so influential. You have a tendency to create something you think he'll like. I kind of wanted to just type for him. You have to let that go. He doesn't need acolytes. He needs collaborators. The opening scene in my first draft was at a hospital in Costa Rica where somebody's flown in on a helicopter and said it's a terrible construction accident. I wrote a really good scene where this ER doctor looks at this guy, a person who's been ripped to shreds, and says, "This is not a construction accident." Steven Spielberg responded with, "I love your opening. I can't do it though because I feel like I already did it." I said, "What? When?" He said, "Yeah, it's in Jaws." And I said, "Oh yeah, right. I love that." That's a peril. You've got to write stuff you think is great. Then he brings his stuff to it rather than you trying to think ahead and write what you think he would want. For those of you unaware, the scene that David Koepp is talking about is when Chrissy's body is first looked over by Hooper in the 1975 movie. Once the oceanographer takes a good look at the swimmer's remains, he deduces that a great white was the one responsible for her death by saying, "This was no boat accident," which yeah, is extremely similar to Jurassic Park's construction line. Now, most of you will probably know that Michael Crichton actually worked on the original movie and even wrote a draft of that film. You can see it in the first movie's credits. What you might not actually know though is that much of his draft of the movie was actually tossed out during a ton of rewrites, the last of which happened to go to David Koepp. Personally, I can understand why Spielberg felt like having this line in Jurassic Park, and the whole scene to be honest, would feel very tired if he did it in 1993. While the opening of the novel is great, and it really does help the reader visualize the gruesomeness of a raptor attack, I think actually seeing the event happen in the movie was a good substitute for the book's intro. Both are technically raptor attacks, and both do eventually lead to an investigation being carried out on the safety of Jurassic Park. So you could say that we technically got the same thing, just told from an earlier point in that event's history. In truth, there are a ton of scenes and ideas from the two Jurassic Park novels that didn't make it into their film adaptations. Most notably, pretty much the entirety of The Lost World being a vastly different story that only bears a minor resemblance to Crichton's written work. Still, many of these unused ideas did actually pop up in the two new Jurassic World movies, and I'm pretty sure that we'll get to see even more of the books in the next installment. And hey, who knows? Maybe this construction accident will be among them. Anyways, what do all of you guys think about this information? Do you think it was a good call to go in a different direction with Jurassic Park's opening, or do you think they should have used what they had in the novel? I'm personally fine with the change, and in fact, it kind of just results in the same thing, so I don't really think it's that big of a deal. But hey, whatever your own thoughts and opinions happen to be, I'd love to hear them in the comments down below. Now before I go, I'd like to thank all of my game wardens, as well as all of my InGen executives. I'd also like to thank all of my park workers and InGen hunters as well. It really means the world to me that all of you guys enjoy what I do so much, and I'm extremely thankful to have all of your incredible support. Now I'd like to thank all of you for watching today's video and hope you all enjoyed the content. If you feel like I deserve it, I'd appreciate the like and hope that you'll consider subscribing if you're interested in hearing from me again. See you all in the next one, guys, and as always, take it easy.